At her boss's party, he spat on my face. Not metaphorically, not in some drunken slip of arrogance, no. His saliva hit my cheek, warm and deliberate, as laughter echoed around the marble lobby of the Hilton ballroom. "She's mine at work," he said, voice dripping with the kind of confidence only power and possession could build. Then, with a smirk that reached his eyes, he added, "Wait for your turn, husband." The word husband burned. My wife, Rebecca, stood frozen beside him, champagne glass trembling. Her coworkers laughed nervously, unsure if it was a joke or a declaration. She didn't move, didn't deny, didn't look at me. And that silence, it told me everything words never could. I wiped my face with the back of my hand, smiled faintly, and said, "Understood." He thought I was nobody, just a +1, a ghost attending his own humiliation. He didn't know who I was. He didn't know the law firm that handled his company's real estate acquisitions, his penthouses, his new developments, was mine. And in that moment, while everyone laughed, I began writing his ending. We drove home in silence, the kind of silence that doesn't break. It stretches, suffocates, and whispers things you wish weren't true. She kept her eyes on the road, hands trembling just slightly. I watched her knuckles go white around the steering wheel. "He was drunk," she muttered finally. I noticed. I didn't ask what he meant. That shut her up. The rest of the ride was a blur of headlights and suppressed guilt. When we got home, she went straight to the shower. Stayed there for 37 minutes. I counted. In that time, I replayed every detail. His hand on her back during introductions, her nervous laugh, the way her boss's name appeared too often in her texts. Martin Hale. I'd seen it before. Late nights, work emergencies, new perfume she didn't wear for me. But it wasn't just about love anymore. It was about power. She wasn't cheating on a husband, she was betraying an empire. Because every property deal Martin Hale signed went through my firm. Every signature, every clause, every legal breath he took, I owned. She just didn't know it yet. I didn't confront her, not yet. Emotion ruins strategy. Instead, I started reading. Her messages, her laptop, her calendar, all neatly synced to our shared cloud, as if betrayal needed convenience. The affair had been going on for months. Hotel rooms, business trips, a weekend in Miami that she said was a corporate retreat. I traced payments, company expenses filed under team coordination, receipts bearing both their initials. But the deeper I dug, the more I realized it wasn't just sex, it was access. She'd been feeding him information, drafts of property acquisitions, clauses that weren't finalized yet, things only my partners and I should have known. Martin wasn't just her boss, he was using her to steal from me. My wife, the woman I built a home with, was the weak link in a billion-dollar chain. I called my private IT investigator, quiet man, precise with his words. He owed me favors. Within days, he sent a folder. Inside, emails. Dozens. He'll never see it coming. You'll have that contract before he even notices. You're brilliant, Becca. I could use a mind like yours full-time. She wasn't being seduced. She was seducing him. For leverage. For money. But she didn't realize she was playing both sides of a loaded gun. I began preparing. New contracts, new terms, silent shifts in property titles. I moved shares, restructured subsidiaries, pulled legal strings invisible to the untrained eye. Every deal Martin Hale thought he owned, every skyscraper he touched, was about to legally dissolve beneath him. And all I needed was one public spark. A party. The next month, Hale & Co. hosted another event. celebrating expansion. Same ballroom, same laughter, same polished glass and fake smiles. He saw me across the room and smirked again. She stood beside him, hand brushing his sleeve as if on instinct. I walked up to him, calm, polite. "Martin," I said, extending my hand, "congratulations on the new acquisition." He took it, pride swelling in his chest. "You heard? Big move for us." "I did," I said softly, handing him an envelope. "That's the termination notice." He blinked. "What?" "For your firm's holdings. The land rights, the commercial leases. Everything you thought you bought through Becca's documents, it's all invalid. Every clause she stole from me voids your entire deal." The color drained from his face. I continued, voice calm, deliberate. "You see, I run Ellison Law. Your real estate contracts go through us, or went through us, I should say. You've been violating confidentiality, breaching fiduciary law, and committing corporate espionage." He opened the envelope. His hand shook. Inside, signed documents, transfer reversals, and a federal notice. Rebecca stared at me, lips parting, voice breaking. "You... how? I turned to her. "You thought I was just a lawyer, Becca. You never asked which lawyer." Silence fell heavy as glass. He looked at her like she'd ruined him. She looked at me like I'd stopped being human. Maybe I had. Security approached within minutes. I didn't need to raise my voice. The law was already louder than any threat. Martin Hale was escorted out under compliance review. His investors followed the scandal within hours. By morning, his empire would be frozen. Rebecca followed me into the parking lot, heels clicking on concrete like the seconds of a dying clock. "You destroyed him," she whispered. "I didn't destroy him," I said. "He destroyed himself the moment he spat on my face." Tears formed, but I didn't look at her. "You used me," she said, "to get to him." I finally turned. "You used us." She reached for my arm. "I can explain." "No need." I slipped the wedding ring from my finger and dropped it into her palm. "It's evidence now." The wind carried her sobs into the empty lot. They didn't echo. They just dissolved. I walked to my car, never looked back. The next morning, my assistant placed the morning paper on my desk. CEO Martin Hale under federal investigation for corporate fraud. Beneath it, a smaller headline: "Wife of prominent attorney files for divorce amid scandal." Perfect symmetry. I poured my coffee slowly, watching the steam rise like the ghost of everything I'd once felt. There was no satisfaction, no joy. Just quiet order restored to a world that had briefly lost its balance. In the end, justice doesn't scream. It signs, it seals, it executes, and sometimes it waits patiently for its turn. He spat on my face that night. I didn't wipe it off in anger, only to make space for the smile that came later.